everyone, it's Jill and welcome to my craft. Today I'm going to be making a card for a teenage boy or a male, any sort of occasion that you like. I'm specifically doing mine for a happy birthday, and I'm going to be using Cogs and a little message that just says happy birthday. So I've pulled out some bits of coordinating cardstocks, pulled out my dies, any sort of cog dies will do, and let's make a start. So first off, let's clear all that out of the way, and I'm going to be working on a 6x6 card. Now I have actually done my die cutting because you don't want to watch me do that. So first of all, for my background, I've chosen a lovely piece of bronze mirror card, and I've just used a little rough edge die to do that. So I'm just going to pop that one down straight away. Just to give us our card base ready. And a little bit of glue. I'm trying this Elmer's purple glue here. Just want to make sure I've got the corners. I don't need too much there. Make sure my card's clean. And just pop that onto there. Sorry about the reflection, we'll get rid of this as soon as we can. There we go. So that's lovely base layer there. And then for the where my focal point's going to go, I've got a piece that will fit into here quite nicely like that. Now all my little dies and my messages, etc., I have actually cut these off camera because, as I said, you don't want to watch me doing those. So let's find the little pieces. And I just thought that would go quite nicely down there. And I've cut these cogs out in various different colours as well. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3. Some little bronze ones as well, just to sort of balance the card out. So that's where I am with that. As you can see, I've also cut some letters out, and I have repeated these several times because what I'm going to do with these is layer them up, because one little letter's quite thin and I wanted to just give a little bit more dimension to the card. So what I'm going to do is stick these on top of each other like so, and that'll just give a tiny bit more dimension, if you can see that, just to make it stand up from the card. So I've already stuck 2 together, and I'll show you how I do that third one later. And there's the birthday word there, and again I've already stuck 2 of those together. So we'll come back to that in a moment. First of all, what I wanted to do was to add a tiny bit more interest to this piece of card because mine's a bit plain. So I've pulled out a little text stamp here, just any random text stamp will do, and my VersaFine. Just going to ink up and stamp up, so a little bit on, a little bit off. There we go. Let's come in with a bit more. Right, let's just put a bit down on my mat just to save that going all over there. So it just looks a little bit more random than if we stick it all in lines across. Pull it that way. Let's do a second generation there. Plenty of ink on there. And again, just there. So there we are, that's made my background just a little bit more exciting. If you've got some paper that does that, then fine. If not, that's another way of doing something to your paper. So we're there with that. Now then, Around the edge, again, that's quite plain. I'm just going to pull out a piece of scrap paper again. There we go. And I'm going to sort of distress this edging down a bit. Now I looked at putting some embossing around the edge, but this is quite thin paper and it's already started to buckle a bit, and I didn't want to make that worse. I'm actually going to use my silver marker pen, and I'm just going to show you how I'm doing a distressed border around the edge. Let's just make sure that's glued up. Metal ruler down the edge here. Now this is a bit of a no-no if you're going to want to do something nice and neat. So we just put a bit of pressure on, do our line like that, and then just pull it away. And as you can see, it pulls some of the edge in. Let's try again, because I didn't probably do that quick enough. So it's wet, that's it. So it's just distressed that a little bit on the edges by pulling in some of that silver. You do need to use a metal ruler or something like that for this one, because it will ruin your plastic ones. So again, make sure we've got plenty on there. Push the nib down a bit and then just pull it in. As I said, if you want a nice straight line, this is not the technique to use. If you want it clean. There we go. So I may just put it a little bit more down this side. That's it. That looks a lot better. Right, remember to clean your ruler off, which I've just done that off camera. Right, so that's looking quite nice. So that's going to go onto our base card here, like so. So let's just pop that down. And again, I've stuck all my tape on, so you don't have to sit and watch me do that, because I think you all know how to do that by now. Bit in the middle. And again, I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue down, just to make sure these edges are really covered and we can get them a bit flatter than hopefully they will be if we just leave them. Right. Make sure my wording is up the right way. Let's pop that down onto there. Just to make sure that glue is on the edges. There. So that's again finished off our base layer. And it's going to be my little tube, my little pot of glue here. Next thing I'm going to do is just layer up these messages so that they've got a chance to dry. Right, I'm just going to get a block because I need a bit of a, oh, sorry about that, noise. So I've just got a block here so that when I'm done I can just put them under there. So let's get the ones I've already done or started. Happy birthday. There we go. So I glue just onto the piece I want to stick it on. It just takes a little bit of time to do this. And I'm just using a little bit of PVA. There's my tweezers. There's the tweezers. So this is a double-sided card, so no problem with right way up, wrong way, etc. And then just use your tweezers just to pull it in and line it up. So let's put that to one side. So if you've got chipboard letters, you might want to use those instead. I didn't have enough to make the message that I wanted. And this little die that I've got here is just a little random message die that I took out of my craft set. Line that up again. As I said, this takes just a tiny bit of time, but it's worth doing. There we go. I'm just going to put that to one side underneath my block, like so. So I'm just going to put them over there. And come back to the birthday word. Sorry about my fingers, by the way. I've been inking up crafty things, so see any inks. That's what we do, isn't it, folks? That's what it's all about. This one's just a little bit more fiddly because of the actual cuts is thinner. There we go, very therapeutic. Just line that up on there, and again just make sure you put it in straight with your tweezers. And that'll just give you a perfect line up then. Right, there we go. So I'm just going to put that under my block at this side again, let that all dry off, and then I'll come back to the main card. I'm going to start sticking down my cogs. So this card's mainly all about the die cutting really, rather than stamping. So I'm trying to go through a bit of a phase at the moment where I use what I have in my craft kit rather than keep buying more and more, which yes, we've got online, but sometimes you need to go to a shop and we can't at the moment because we're all locked up. Hopefully it won't be too much longer. Right, that's that done then. Let's just make sure I don't leave any glue on the side here before I stick this down. Right, again, I just need another block. So I always put mine under a block like that, just a bit of pressure, and that will just flatten it all out for you. A bit of glue coming up there. There we go. Let's do that while I glue up some of the other little cogs. So this is quite a quick, simple make to some of my other cards that I do. as I said, mainly because just take a bit of glue off of that one. I needed something quick, really. So if you see me just taking it to the right here, I'm just dabbing off a little bit of glue off of that back because there's quite a lot on there. I've just refilled my glue bottle with, oh, there we go, look, with some watered down PVA, and it's a tad on the thin side. Let's put that there. I'll come back to these little bronze pieces. There we go. I don't know if you've got some spray glue or a pen or something that may be a bit less messy. I've just ordered myself some of the Distress Collage glue, which I want to try out. Hopefully won't be quite so messy as this. Right, where shall we go with these then? Start up here, pop it onto my tweezers, take a bit of glue off. Helps if you can see the card. Right, let's come into here. So put that one there. Just choose a couple of little areas that you feel you can highlight again with your extra layer. That one I'm just going to pop there. Try and line that up so that the holes are level. Perhaps one on here. So it's coming together quite nicely. And then this one, let's just cover that bit of glue over there with that. Let's come back to my block. One there, let's grab my other block that's got my letters under it, and that one there. So let's just give that a second or two to dry. And then grab my ruler, because that's the next thing we're going to do, is the wording, the happy birthday, which is all dried quite nicely now. Let's make sure that's well and truly down. It's coming up a little bit there, but what I'll do is when we've done, I will put it back down again. Right, happy birthday, I thought would look quite nice here. So to start with, I'm going to put the birthday in, word, and then the next bit up here. Then let's come back to my gluing. As I said, a little bit fiddly, but it's worth it in the end. There. Last bit coming up. So, I'm going to get my ruler, make sure, I can just about see my grid lines underneath my mat here. Just going to make sure that we're going to go reasonably straight with this one. Like so. just push that down. Sorry, I've knocked you yet again. Stay still. Right, for my happy, just going to make sure I get it central. So I'm going to start with one of the P's. P, Y. Yep, that's how you spell happy. Yep, lovely. Let's put that one down first. Back to the tweezers. So by starting in the middle, you make sure you've actually got space. You don't want to start with a wide spacing between your letters and get to the end and find out all of a sudden you've got nowhere to put the last letter. That's why I always lay everything out first. Plan it twice and glue it once. Fiddly fiddly. So we have got a little bit of wiggle room on these because they're wet glue. Pop that there. Now I'm just going to get my ruler and just bring that in only like so to make sure all of those letters are nice and straight. And they are how I want them to be. See that little cog there has just come a bit adrift. Let's just pop that down again. And then just give it a push down. Right, there we go. So the next thing I want to do is some little pearls inside there. I'm going to use my liquid pearls to do that, just to finish off the card. So I'm just going to make sure, pull it off, make sure I've got a decent flow on that, and then come in and just fill the little centres of my cogs with just a little bead of liquid pearls. This colour that I'm using is brass. And it just adds a tiny highlight. Right, the eye on this birthday here was so small that it wasn't worth trying to get out the die, to be honest. So I'm just going to pop a little bead down there as well. Now when I do liquid pearls, I just like to tiny little flick from behind, just to make sure that they sort of don't peak, if you like. See, there is a little peak on them at the moment. Let's just give them a bit more of a flick. If you flick too much, they go extremely flat, and then that defeats the object. But anyway, that's our card for today. This will be for my teenage grandson. My A has gone a bit wonky. Hang on, I can see that. Let's see if I can just adjust that slightly. Bring that in very gently. No, I think that's stuck. So anyway, that's what it is. But he will like that anyway. And I hope you did too. I hope that's giving you a little bit of inspiration. A quick how to undo a fairly quick card. So thank you very much for watching. And I will see you again next time. Bye bye.